Welcome back to the channel. This is where we discuss personal development topics for men. If that sounds like you, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below so you're in the loop. The tribe here is obviously very young and growing. It's great to have you here if you are interested in those topics. Let's get into the video. Now, OnlyFans, guys, I'm going to really spit it off the cuff, and I'm going to be quite raw like I was in my first video, which was why Tinder is making men weak. And this is really obviously going to be titled, as you can see, why OnlyFans is making men weak. There's some subtle differences here that I do think they're causing massive systemic problems in the way that we're relating to women and the way that women are perceiving us. And this stuff needs to be discussed and spread by as many men as possible, because we're going to be looking down the pipe of a generation of men with their balls removed, essentially, if we don't course correct this. And I know this will be, I've talked to a lot of people about this. This is going to be a niche culture for men really to understand what I'm about to even say. Just the fact that you're even looking at this video means you're a pretty niche man to begin with. Most men aren't interested in the counterculture of being traditionally masculine and leveling up. They're more into degenerate culture. But I digress. Let's get into the discussion more or less. So, what is it essentially that makes men attracted to women? Well, there's a few things, and you could break down many videos about what that is. But if we're really sticking on topic here about what this video really is about, it's really about the idea that your attention is a commodity, and it is something that is valued by women. And the problem is, in today's society, you're giving it away for free. If you're giving it away for free, you're essentially saying your attention has no value. And in turn, you're saying you have no value, because your attention and your time isn't actually something that needs to be worked for or respected. Okay, if you're willing to give that away freely, and even go to the next level of paying her to give her your attention, what is that subconsciously saying to women and the way that men are now and the way that we're acting? Saying that we're quite feminine, you know, and we're not essentially living our purpose and adopting those core qualities that we know that women find attractive. Huge problem, right? If you were to sort of expand on it even further, really too, which is a massive issue, your social skills, right? Like if you're developing an inability to just go up and talk to someone in the street that you find an interest in, and you don't have really any drive to do so, you've really got to question why, because prior to technology, that wasn't normal. And it isn't normal now. But it's become normal because of the way that we've structured the society at this point. Yeah, and the problem there is, look around you, like, look at look at the way that modern feminism, boys, is clearly just walking all over, you know, the idea that you can have a positive relationship with your masculinity. Now, I don't want to spend too much time talking about those topics, but it does crossbreed into this a little bit. I know you guys get all fired up and you like talking about, you know, essentially men going their own way and feminism and red pill and all those things. And they have their place, they have their points, and they're all valid to an extent. Okay, but really, we have to take the ownership back on ourselves. We can't be victims in this lifetime and find something to project our problems onto. We need to own them. Okay, now, if we're men, right, and we're the leaders of society, okay, you're the leader of women, you want submissive women, okay, I'm talking to men that seek a masculine frame and a healthy relationship with their masculinity, and they seek essentially a relationship with feminine women who enjoy their femininity and enjoy your masculinity, right? I'm not talking about trying to convert a bunch of, you get what I'm saying, right? Like you're not trying to change people. You're trying to fit into the groove of what feels normal. You have to understand your social skills are going to be significantly impacted in a negative way if you're not choosing to adopt the counterculture narrative of letting all of this stuff go, right? Massive problem. You're getting approval and validation from a woman without that fear of rejection. And that's teaching you to be weak. It's not teaching you to essentially uphold the frame that that woman behind the camera would find respectful and find interesting and find sexy to her, right? Society won't teach you this. We're not taught this as men. We're living in a feminist society, so we're going to be taught things like sit down, shut up, be respectful, subserve to a socialist agenda, right? I'm kind of moving away perhaps from the key point of the video there. Whatever, it's my channel. I'll talk about whatever I want. But I'm sure most of you listening, you get what I'm saying. If you do get what I'm saying, you're making a vote when you're handing your Visa card over to women. You're essentially setting the standard. Okay, you're letting them know what is poor behavior and what is good behavior. Okay, really, we are the leaders, and you can tell that we're the leaders of this still. It's all in your hands based on the pure idea that if you walk away from that movement, you're no longer susceptible to it. Okay, it only continues because men choose to abide by these rules and these, the narrative of being weak and feminine and chasing women like dogs. Handing the Visa cards and spending $5,000 to go on a date and just ridiculous stuff like this that no woman of self-respect would essentially choose in a man that would respect himself, right? This is systemically going to cause a massive problem. Like if any of you guys want families, if any of you guys want long-term relationships, any of these things of substance, realize that you have to be willing to adopt this counterculture. You don't have a choice. We don't have a choice. This is how it has to be and how it should be, and you should naturally feel as though you want to. If you don't, then you've really got to question your own standards as a male. Like, what self-respecting male would essentially choose to spend his such finite free time that he has on this planet purely just subserving to essentially a promiscuous woman trying to take your money? That's insane. That doesn't make any sense. Return on investment. Some of you are investors and into money, right? You're always looking at the ROI. What's the return on the energy, the time, the money that I'm putting into this? There's a man called Alan Clary. If you want to read a book on this, it's called The ROI of Chasing Women, I believe is the title of the book. I read this a while ago, and it really pulls the data and the statistics together to show you essentially why doing this is a complete waste of your time. Even if you are essentially a man, let's just say, more affluent with more options, etc., etc. It's still not worth your time. You've really got to realize that it's so finite, and really it's about women qualifying themselves to you. Them qualifying themselves to you, not the other way around. That's the thing that makes them, as Rollo Tomasi would say, to have burning desire for you. And that's the woman that really you should be picking is the woman that does have burning desire for you. The men who are taking OnlyFans subscriptions, they're at the extreme other end, right? Those boys, any of you, if you're doing that, I'm talking to you, you're essentially making a decision to say that I don't really value myself enough to say that I should be the one receiving any of the attention, okay? And you've really got to ask yourself what you want for your entire life. I can get a little bit philosophical here, boys, and it's like, what do you want for your entire life moving forward? What do you want to look back on when it's all said and done in terms of the time, the effort, the money, what you put who you are into, and what return you were given back? The data's there. It doesn't have a return. 80% of the women are chasing the top 10% of men. It's delusion. Females are at an all-time high of complete delusion. They all think because of feminism they are entitled to everything. They're not. Most of them have no intrinsic value beyond, a very basic sense of personality and looks, and so do many men. I'm not calling out women. I'm saying most people in general are just normal average people, right? But for some reason, the women of this demographic and age group seem to think that they're all entitled 6 figures and 6-pack. No, it doesn't work like that. And that's why we essentially have a lot of, decrease in marriage rates, a decrease in, there's a massive increase in the amount of male virgins that are coming through from, the up till 21-year-olds. It's like a 30% increase in the US in male virgins, stuff like that. If you really want to find the data that I'm pulling this from, I'd urge you to go read the book that I mentioned before from Alan Clary. The ROI on Chasing Women, I believe is what the book is called. So food for thought, guys. If you're getting value out of the video, if you resonate to the stuff that I'm saying, if what I'm saying is important to you as well, give the video a smash of the like button. The algorithm does not feed this to any more men unless you as a man make a vote to say, yes, this is important, I believe in what you're saying, and shoot it through to more men so they can understand. We are all in this together, and we really need to make a stand for essentially what our standards are. We've been taught that having standards as men is somehow inherently toxic. It is not, and we need to be willing to say, hey, that behavior I don't condone, and you creating an OnlyFans and selling your body for money is not the sort of behavior that I'm willing to reward, acknowledge, or God forbid, choose in a significant partner, even a sexual partner, potentially, depending on how firm you want to be with that, boys. But I'm going to be back, obviously, weekly with more content. I think from a couple of the messages that I got from you guys, you were interested. I can see the analytics coming through. You want to talk about, a lot of this, men going their own way stuff, this red pill stuff. I've got my own opinions that are, a little bit, let's just say a little bit more balanced, I believe, and potentially what some people are pushing the agenda forward. But the main thing, guys, is your attention should never be given out freely. It is a reward and it is a gift. Value yourself enough to realize that it is. And redefine your standards with how you interact with women, and watch essentially the way that they shift their personality towards you in a response to that. I'll see you next week.